Hi guys, so let's talk cameras and yes why. Now, a lot of people want to shoot content out there and they have different kind of content you want to shoot here, but what kind of camera do you think best suits content you're trying to shoot? And when I say cameras, I'm not talking about cameras in terms of brand. It's not going to be a Nike, Nikon, or a Canon kind of video. It's more about the types of camera that you have there. And also like the action cameras, the pocket cameras, the phone cameras, and the mirrorless cameras. Which one best suits whatever kind of content you're trying to create? And that is one thing I think that, not I think, that I want to talk about in this video. Let's go with the first kind of camera that I'm going to talk about. And this is the kind of camera that is always with you at every point in time. And that camera is what? Your phone camera. A phone camera is pretty much the kind of camera that you have with you every single time. And for people that want to use this are people who, for instance, do not have the money to buy a big camera, and also do not want to have to carry extra load when you're leaving the house because they're trying to make a video or take a photo. And the phone camera is something that everybody has pretty much. So the phone camera is the first kind of camera that you can use to create content. And what is that good for? It's good for on-the-go kind of shoot. Pretty much, entry-level kind of shot thing, yeah. And it's also for people who are very shy, because if you carry a big camera, yeah, it means that you're going to be in people's face and you don't want that kind of attention on yourself. So you want to go with a phone camera because people don't really care about phone cameras that much, as opposed to you carrying, say, a mirrorless camera or like a big camera around. People then have to look at you and then draw attention to you, and maybe you do not want that. So I see why, for people like that, a phone camera is most likely the best option for them. And again, like I said, it's always readily available. It's always in your pocket. The con is that, your battery will die faster. It might overheat as well, and you might run out of space really quick. But the pro is that it's very easy to carry about. It's more affordable than every other camera, and it's something you always have with you at all points in time. Now, the second kind of camera out there is your mirrorless camera. So your mirrorless camera is a big camera, as you see. I'm using currently a Sony TV10 Mark I. And that's this kind of cameras are cameras for people who do not mind spending an extra money or extra dollars, to get a big camera. And it's for people who also want to take content a bit more seriously. But mind you, this is not a camera that you want to take everywhere in public, because sometimes they are very heavy and you are also going to attract people's attention on you. Now, if you don't want that, then I advise stay away from that. But if you do not mind, why not go ahead and buy that kind of camera, But also understand that with a mirrorless camera, while you get good quality, you get really good quality because of the sensor size, you also have additional costs that you have to bear by using this kind of camera. So for instance, though the camera will come with like a kit lens, but most times you have to buy several lenses to get different kind of shot that you want to get. You also have to buy a microphone, because the microphone that comes with this camera are not so good. You also want to buy a gimbal so you can get smooth, movement. That is, if your camera doesn't have IBs, and even if it has IBs, you still want to get a gimbal. You want to buy things like tripod. You want to get things like external hard drive. You want to get things like memory card. You also want to get things like what's called a bigger screen so you can see what you're shooting. So a mirrorless camera can be a good camera for people who want to take content very seriously, but it can incur additional costs that you might not be willing to spend. But if you don't mind, then I advise you go ahead and also buy this kind of camera, and use it to shoot whatever content you want to shoot. You can use it for talking videos, for interviews, for documentaries, and even as well as, vlogging, as long as you have the right tools, for it. Now, the other kind of camera that I want to mention is your action camera. Now, action cameras are pretty good for POV kind of shot, yeah? Now, like name implies, they are used for action things. So pretty much, if you're that kind of person that like to drive power bike, dirt bike, skates, do adventure stuff, and you want people to see what it looks like from your point of view, then an action camera is your best friend, because you can easily strap it on your chest because of how small it is, or on your cap or whatever, It's so small that it can fit almost everywhere, and it can take a beating pretty much. Most of these cameras can go underwater. If you can fall on them, they can take a beating. They have good mic quality as well. So if you're that kind of person that like taking adventure and you want to show people your POV, then a mirrorless camera is not a mirrorless camera. The action camera is the camera you should be going for. You cannot strap a mirrorless camera to your chest to be too heavy. You cannot strap. You can strap your phone to your chest, but you don't want to be in that sweat, go into water or fall off with your phone on your chest. You get what I'm saying? So an action camera would best suit that kind of content for people who like adventure, who like taking risks, but you want to document those risks. So I advise, or I would suggest that you get an action camera for yourself. Now, another kind of camera that I want to talk about that is not being used so much is a 360 camera. And I'm saying that in this part of the world. In the Western world, obviously, you guys use it a lot, but somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria, it's not so rampant. Yeah, and 360 camera are cameras that you want to capture everything around you. You want to capture the front, the back, the left, the side. So even if in post you're watching what you've captured, and you feel like you don't like a composition, you can always change the angle, which is one of the beauty of 360 cameras, yeah? So if you're that kind of person that, again, you want to not miss anything around you, you want to get something Again, everything around you, you don't want to lose, anything. You have FOMO. I think that a 360 camera is a camera that you should purchase. Mind you, they're not so expensive also. You don't need additional gear. They usually come with their pod or their stand, so that's pretty much what you need to use to use the camera anyway. Some of them come with in-bit memories inside. I mean, maybe they all come with in-bit memories and you can just buy memory card and attach to it. I think so. But they are really good for capturing everything around you. And then another kind of camera that I want to talk about is the one that I think is a bit common, is the pocket camera. Now you have the likes of the DJI Pocket 3 and the Pocket 4 as well. Now this kind of camera is good for vlogging, for people who want to shoot on the go. You get, like, you want to shoot on the go in public and you don't want attention, because they are very small. They have like a 1-inch sensor, almost similar to your iPhone. They have a screen as well that you can tap and switch a video in, even though it's also small. They have a gimbal as well, and it also helps with stabilization. So if you want to shoot on the go, then I think that you want to get a pocket camera, and it's very like I said, it's a pocket camera, can fit in anywhere, even your sling bag. But you also want to be careful with that kind of camera, because once it falls down, chances are you might snap your gimbal and you might have to buy a new one and get it fixed. Now, I would not advise using a pocket camera to do things like a talking head video. You can't really shoot proper documentary style video with a pocket camera because it's designed mostly for vlogging. So it's something that you want to take into consideration. If you're going to be vlogging mostly, then I think a pocket camera should be the kind of best camera, or the best camera for you to get, as opposed to getting a mirrorless camera because of how heavy it is. So you want to get a pocket camera if, again, you're vlogging mostly, you don't mind spending the amount to get a combo kit, because that's how you get extra batteries and get a gimbal with it. No, you have a gimbal, is a tripod, I think, and a mic as well. But yeah, those are the kind of cameras I think I want to talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about a drone. Drones are not kinds of camera, but then again, if you're into area shots and you want to capture things from above, because everything looks fine from above, and that's the beauty of photography. Everything looks nice from a perspective that people do not usually see it from, and that's what you want to capture. Then I think that a drone is the best bet. You can get things like a DJI Neo 5, you can get things like, mostly DJI actually, there are other brands, but DJI is like taking champion in that particular category, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much all I speak about when talking about cameras in this video. Let me know what camera best suits your need, if you gain any bit of knowledge from these, or if this has been a brain drain for you. Anyone, just let me know. But yeah, please, if you find this video helpful or not, please like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye guys.